Theo, Twitch, yeah. Yep. True. Yep. We're going to be talking about that. All right, let's go. Let's get started. What do you think of Genesis 18? Well, I don't remember exactly what happened in Genesis 18 off the top of my head, but I can assure you I support it. Let's see. Chapter 18, I assume. The Lord appeared to Abraham by the oak of Mamre as he sat at the entrance of his tent. When the day was growing hot, look up, he saw 3 men standing near him. When he saw them, he ran from the entrance tent to greet him, bowing. Yeah, this is a great story. I love this story. Great story. What's wrong with this story? Goated story. What's the problem? Love this story. Y'all sound like haters. Story's dope. Is the Torah the same as the Christian Old Testament? Yep. That's why basically Jewish values and Christian values are probably like a 95% overlap. What's wrong with that story? That's a great story. That's the story with the 3 dudes that came to Abraham after, Abraham got circumcised. And he basically, despite being in pain, he got up, ran to them in the heat of the day and told them, yo, 3 fellows, why don't you come over, wash your hands and feet, and I will make sure that I can give you a nice meal. Despite the fact that they were 3 travelers. He never knew them. He brought them in. He had them sit by his table. He had his wife, Sarah, who was in the kitchen making a delicious meal. Asked her to slaughter their best calf. They made a delicious food, gave them tongue and butter, and it was apparently delicious. I don't know, I wasn't there. However, they loved it, apparently. And honestly, that remains, I think, a pivotal moment in Abraham's story, because the way that dude treated guests was absolutely unbelievable. And I feel like that's an unbelievably telling message to how everyone should look at their guests and be welcoming and welcome people into their home and open a conversation. Open a conversation with anybody. Come sit by my table. We'll work together. We'll figure stuff out. I think it's an awesome story. I love that story. Anyway, thanks for the 500 kick. Feels like 2 different stories combined. No, that's the same story. Ox tongue is delicious. No, I've had ox tongue. I've had cow tongue. It is delicious. I agree. I just haven't had it with butter. Yeah. Do you find it notable that God visits Abraham as 3 men? So no, and I'll explain why. Because those 3 men, according to Judaism, those 3 men were angels, not God. God was actually visiting Abraham by his bed after his circumcision, and after those 3 angels showed up, he invited them to his home and gave it to them. I know that a lot of Christian interpretations say that it was like the Trinity, but Jewish interpretations is it was 3 angels. It was Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, according to the Talmud interpretation. And then, right after that, you have the story of what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. Because directly after leaving Abraham, they went and blew that shit up. Yep. Thanks for the 100 kicks. I've never heard the claim it was the Trinity. I think I've heard. I think it was a Wendigoon video actually, where Wendigoon said that there are some interpretations that it's the Trinity, but that is not the Jewish interpretation. But anyway, so yeah, our interpretation is always that there are 3 angels that showed up. And for the record, all right, you want to hear some crazy Bible lore? All right, whatever. I don't know if you actually care, but you want to hear some crazy Bible lore? So it says in the Bible 3 separate times in the Old Testament that basically you should not cook a calf in its mother's milk. All right, and essentially the way it's interpreted is milk and meat should not be mixed. You shouldn't eat them, or profit off of them or cook them together and stuff like that. So the question is, why did Abraham give cow tongue, which is meat, with butter, which is milk? Why did he give them a milk and meat mixture together to these 3 angels? If later in the Old Testament, it wasn't stated before that, it's 2 books later in the Old Testament, it states that they should not be mixed together. And what a really beautiful interpretation is that they were angels, and angels are not obligated to keep the Bible. Angels are the Bible was made for man, not for angels, and ultimately that is the argument that humanity has to say that we deserve the Bible. God made it for us, not for you. And that was the argument, according to the Talmud, that Moses made on the mountain when he came down with the Bible, with the Old Testament. Anyway, that's just some random Talmud lore. And he was like, "Yo, but you had milk and meat. So, like, let me get this straight. I'm going down with the Bible. But you would literally, like, break its laws." It never states that Abraham ate it. It just states that the angels ate it. Isn't that interesting lore? Anyway. Any hoozles. Angels already divine? Yeah, so that's why that was the point. That the Bible was not made for angels, it was made for man. That's like literally the point, actually. Anyway, even the Quartering wants Hassan in jail. I'm aware. Everyone wants him in jail. Dude supports terrorists. Fuck him. Did he talk about the Destiny ban? It was a troll. He was banned in 2022 on Twitch. He just made that statement to get attention. Cooking meat and butter, is that okay? According to Jews that follow the Old Testament, no. According to Christians that say that the Old Testament laws do not need to be kept legally, they just need to be kept morally, yes.